Yes, how are we doing? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to United View. Welcome back to another Euro 2024 match view. This time it is Portugal versus the Czech Republic. Yes, we've been getting in at least one game a day, and it continues today with what is really my pick to go all the way. I know lots of people have been saying England, some people are saying France, some people are saying Germany, but for me, I think it's going to be Portugal. Portugal, for me, are the team that I would consider. I mean, that's probably the only reason they're probably not considered the favourites is because, you know, you've seen people like France get to more finals recently. Of course, Portugal won the European Championships back in 2016, defeating France in the finals in France. And I think, considering their squad, considering their team, they absolutely have to be considered strong favourites for the tournament. Obviously, it's a Manchester United channel, and there is some Manchester United influence on this game, certainly, in the form of Diogo Dalot and also Bruno Fernandes, and also, of course, Cristiano Ronaldo, the former Manchester United striker. He is a legend. And lots of people talking about him, 39 years. It probably his last European Championships. Whether he'll make it to the World Cup or not, we'll wait and see. Makes history this evening, becoming the first player to play at 6 European Championships, with his first being back in 2004. And I remember, I mean, one of the scenes, really, of that championship is Portugal losing in the final against Greece and him being in tears at the end of it. I recall it vividly. So obviously all eyes are going to be on him this evening, see if he can make history, break records. We'll talk actually about the team news right now. Let me just get that up in front of me. There we go. So, they've got such a packed squad. It is frightening, the players that Portugal have. Flex and myself were talking about it this morning on the transfer view. And really, when you do look at the players that they've just got at their disposal, it is, terrifying. You want to talk about, England getting a lot of credit for the squad that we've got and the players we've got. Don't make no mistake, we've got very good players. But for me, this is just on another level. So in goal, they've got Costa. Again, top goalkeeper that's wanted around Europe. They're playing what looks to be a back three with wing backs this evening. So they've got Diaz, Pepe, and Mendes. Pepe at the age of 41. Playing in the Euros, so they've got some pretty experienced heads. They've got a 41-year-old and a 39-year-old in this Portuguese side. The wing-backs are Diogo Dalot and also João Cancelo. In the middle of midfield, possibly moving into 10. I mean, again, they've got so many players. This can be very interchangeable. They've got the Manchester United captain himself, Bruno Fernandes, and Vitinha, who's had a fantastic season at PSG. Real standout player for them. Then up front, they've just got sort of the front three of, I don't know if you've ever heard of them before, Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, and also Cristiano Ronaldo. As far as their bench, again, this is when I think it does get scary with the players that they've got to bring on. They've got the likes of Semedo, Palhinha, Ramos, João Felix, Inacio, João Neves, Mateus Nunes, Ruben Neves, Diogo Jota, Antonio Silva, Pedro Neto. It is, again, frightening. Absolutely frightening. As far as the Czech Republic, maybe not as much recognisable names. Probably the most recognisable names you'd probably see in there are the likes of Thomas Souček, Soufal, also Patrick Schick, who's had a good season with Bayer Leverkusen. But I think this would probably be, the wider expectation this evening is probably that Portugal completely destroy, really, the Czech Republic. Before I get to your comments, I will say that I was watching the game before this one. Only 2 games today, the 5 o'clock kickoff and the 8 o'clock kickoff. 5 o'clock kickoff, on paper, you would think Turkey, Georgia. Well, what are you going to see in that game? What's going to be in that game that's any sort of really good to watch or anything like that? It's arguably the game of the tournament. It's 3-1 in the end to Turkey, but it really does not do the game justice. What a fantastic match of football. What a terrific match of football. What a brilliant atmosphere of the Turkish and Georgian people in the stadium there. Shout out to the ground staff too for getting that match on. Really heavy rain in Germany today, and heavy rain in, I think it was in Dortmund, wasn't it? And before kickoff, it looked a bit touch and go whether the game was going to go on. And I don't know if that added to it. I don't, but it was just a absolutely fabulous match of football and real drama right at the end. It's 2-1. Georgia absolutely going for it. There's a ball into the box, hits the post. Looks like it's going to be a tap in. It's a brilliant block by the Turkish defender. They then go up the other end and they scored to make it 3-1. But it was just, again, real fantastic game. And again, that's the case. That really has been the case throughout this tournament. I mean, and I'm not even just saying this, agenda, Gareth Southgate, whatever, but legitimately, I think England's game might have been the worst game of the tournament thus far. I mean, really. I mean, I'm invested because I'm an England fan, so I'm kicking every ball, heading it, all that kind of stuff. But from a neutral's point of view, you'd probably look at that England game and go, that's probably the worst. And today's was probably the best. So the tournament's off to a roaring start. Hopefully it will continue this evening. We're nearly into the point now where we're getting into the second wave of matches, which is always really exciting too. So I think it's been a fantastic start to the tournament. I mean, let me know in the chat. Maybe it's a bit difficult to say thus far because all of the teams haven't played, but who's your early favourite? Who's the one that you've got going, I think they might go all the way? Let me know your thoughts about that in the live chat. Let's see what you guys are all saying. Big up to everyone that's tuning in. Be sure to click the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Stephanie Griffith says, big up, Owen. Big up to you. Andy says, hit the likes button. Indeed. D. Luffy says, did you check Xerxes news from Ornstein? I did indeed. We'll be covering it much more in depth tomorrow morning. Transfer View, Flex and myself, as per usual. 9 a.m. We'll be live for that. But just kind of top line stuff. Manchester United are interested. And obviously, when it comes to interest, if David Ornstein's saying they're interested, and I think he did actually go a step further saying that talks are advanced with the players' camp. There's been no club-to-club talks yet. Not that there necessarily needs to be, because he's got a release clause of 40 million euros. So if Manchester United want to activate that, it's pretty simple what they say to Bologna. We're activating the release clause, tough. So the key thing, this one, would be to get the terms done and things agreed with the players' camp first. Then you can go and activate the release clause, and then you can, process that one pretty quickly. And that would also, once again, answer the question we had this morning: are Manchester United going to continue to operate at the one transfer at a time system, or are you going to be doing multiple deals at once? And that looks to be the case. So obviously, we're in negotiations for centre-backs right now. We've already agreed personal terms with Jared Branthwaite. That's not to say that that deal's going to go ahead, because the price is a bit of a sticking point between the two clubs. Might be drawn out to the end of the month until Everton are forced to sell because of financial fair play and PSR. But the Xerxes one could be done quickly. Of course, the situation about personal terms might be a smidge difficult, considering that Xerxes is at the Euros. But that doesn't mean people won't be negotiating, of course, on his behalf, his agents, whatever. Give a little of a phone call. We've agreed terms with Manchester United. What you're saying. So keep an eye on that one, but we'll go much more in depth with that tomorrow morning. There are also other striker targets, according to Ornstein, so there's a lot more meat to that story. Another bit of, what's the right word? Admin, if you will. Flex and KG show did come out earlier today. Times are a bit all over the place at the moment because of the Euros. I mean, the attempt we're trying to do is give you all the time to watch all of these European Championship matches. Even if you're not in Europe, the Copa America matches are going to be coming up soon. There's a lot of football on, so we're trying to sort of steer them away, really, from clashing with any of these football matches. So it came out a bit earlier today, Flex and KG show. So if you haven't already, be sure to give that a watch. Flex, KG talking about centre-back options, talking about transfers, talking about everything when it pertains to Manchester United, and now that certainly the managerial situation is sorted, or at least close to being sorted, when it goes a new contract for Erik ten Hag. So if you haven't already, checked that out. And as I mentioned, we'll be live tomorrow morning too. The Manchester United content ain't going anywhere. What else are people saying here? SLD says he's dropping a like. Yes. Clovis says the Belgian game was the worst game. Well, the Belgian game certainly had drama, didn't it? With obviously the 2 ruled out goals, the VAR stuff, Lukaku missing pretty much every shot he had, it felt like. And then the ones he did score didn't even count. So it had drama, definitely. Jadine says, Die Mannschaft. Yes, the Fußballmannschaft. Someone got an A, a GCSE German. Don't really remember that much, really. Zehenversigkeiten, I think, is to see the sights or something like that. Might have just made it up. Or is that Swedes? You can tell that it's been a while. It's been a while, but I did like German. I found it much easier to do than French. Andy says, I'm the same as you, Owen. I really like the look of Portugal. Well, I think, again, they're going to be my pick. They're going to be my pick with this tournament, but this could be completely ruined, when the Czech Republic, if the Czech Republic win this. Not that that means that they won't go all the way. As we saw at the World Cup, Argentina won the whole thing. They lost their first game to Saudi Arabia. So the first matches are good for a bit of momentum, but they're not the be-all and end-all. definitely. As we are now listening to the national anthem first of the Czech Republic. Bit of a staple, though, of European Championships. I mean, I remember, Petr Cech, Poborský. Osama says KG was riding with the Mbeumo take. That's one KG that comedian. I wouldn't change him. Jason says, which team impressed you so far? Well, it depends. It's almost levels, isn't it? If you're looking at teams as if to say that, go the whole way and win the whole tournament, you'd be looking at Germany really impressed, but I don't know how much that was versus a really poor Scottish side, but they really impressed me. Absolutely dominated the game, and I think Nagelsmann's going to do really big things in this tournament. What other teams impressed me? And then again, the other levels are teams that aren't going to win it, but you go, actually, they'll do all right. For instance, Austria. They impressed me last night against France. What other teams impressed me? All of the big teams have really sort of, delivered. Johnny Sport says Spain were impressive. Yes and no. I push back on that one because I do think Croatia did have chances. And a game, and think 3-0 doesn't really tell the whole story, to be honest with you. That would be my thing. What other teams impressed me so far? I mean, obviously France, they won't totally blow you away impressive, but they'll go far because you see them. To be fair, I'd probably say Germany's a standout team for me thus far. But again, once you get into the second round of matches, that will be quite interesting. But I expect to win every game in that tournament. But Portugal's my prediction, really. And I suppose the key thing, I mean, look at Cristiano. He looks very happy, doesn't he? Very happy, very pleased. He's all fired up, isn't he? Roberto Martinez, talk about, I would say failing upwards. But, I mean, he had just a fantastic Belgium side, didn't he? With superb players, the golden generation for Belgium, and just never really worked out. In fairness, you could argue that there was a lot of sort of dressing room problems, interpersonal problems in that group, which maybe was costly in that regard. But can he get it right this time round? Which, with what I would believe to maybe be a better squad of players, but that's up for debate. I mean, the golden generation of Belgium was proper. I mean, you're talking De Bruyne, Hazard, Lukaku. Who else are you talking? Vertonghen and Alderweireld at their peak. Courtois, Axel Witsel, prime. All of these players in their prime. Red Baron said, didn't he also beat Man City with Wigan for the FA Cup? He did indeed. And he did for a while a half-decent job at Everton. Beat David Moyes at Old Trafford with Everton. Not that was hard. As the two captains, Cristiano Ronaldo, don't know if you've heard of him, and Thomas Souček, don't know if you've heard of him either. As far as the matches tomorrow, let's check these matches on tomorrow. I'll let you know which ones I'm going to be doing. Obviously, we'll do at least one. I think most likely you'll be looking at Germany, Hungary, and possibly Scotland, Switzerland as well. To be fair, all of the games are good tomorrow because Albania weren't that bad. So Albania versus Croatia is a fascinating game at 2:00. Germany, Hungary, if they continue playing how they played against Scotland. I mean, in particular, if you're going to ask me if I stand out player in the opening sort of, round, but the opening match day of this tournament, I'd probably go with Musiala. I really was kind of blown away by him. I thought he was absolutely brilliant against Scotland. Yamal was impressive for Spain, when you definitely consider, obviously, his age. Every time you watch Mbappe, you just get reminded by how good he is. How can you not be impressed by him too? And now it'll be a case of, are we going to get blown away by the likes of Ronaldo? Bruno Fernandes and this entire Portuguese side. We shall wait and see. We're in Leipzig. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're off for this. What group is this again? For this Group F game. The final game of the first, what do you call it? The first match day? I don't want to call it first round. Maybe first round of games, shall we say? Is Portugal versus the Czech Republic. They've had to wait all of these days. And now their campaigns kick off. How are we going to get... this would be, look, if Czech Republic won this would be the biggest shock of the first round of games, wouldn't it? No doubt about that. I mean, so far the biggest one is the Slovakia one against... Nice reverse pass that by Souček. Goes out for a goal kick, though. So far couldn't get to it. Biggest shock so far, well, of course, I think would be Belgium's defeat against Slovakia, obviously. As Portugal playing out from the back. Red Baron with the super chat. Let me move this. I tell you what, the amount of screens I have going, or windows I have going when I do match views is kind of crazy. Red Baron with the super chat says, 30, I know my pronunciation can be terrible, Kaduklu, Turkey's left back, might take him for United. I thought, to be fair, again, I truly mean it, and I don't think it's just recency bias, because it was the game that happened just before this. But that game, Turkey versus Georgia, I thought was just brilliant. I really enjoy, and that's, to be fair, that's been quite a few times. I mentioned it on some of these match views, haven't I? That I'll talk about the atmosphere inside the stadium, and that was the case in that game. Brilliant atmosphere, a couple of really good goals, and just really enjoyable game. Good tempo to it. Not an over-reliance, like I've mentioned and moaned about over and over again, about let's pass it sideways and suffocate the game to death. No, let's be a bit direct. Let's have some shots. Let's take some chances. Let's take some risks. And if that's in the opening round of matches, let's wait until things get, I mean, with really stuff on the line, like the Fernandes, good direct pass. That's Bernardo Silva puts the ball into the box. Nobody there. And Bruno Fernandes has been on electric form for his country, of course. I mean, they've got some proper ball players there, haven't they? Fernandes, Bernardo Silva. We talk about tidy footballers. And if you're Czech Republic, just stay in the game as long as you can. Really. Bruno gives it to Diogo Dalot. Good pass again by Bruno Fernandes. Looks up for it. Cancelo. Flicks it back to Mendes. Cancelo once again. And you kind of forget about his ability. Look at that reverse pass. Here is Bruno Fernandes. Ball across the box. When the worst ball in the world, just nobody there. Too far ahead of everyone. But that's already, in the space of 3 minutes, Bruno Fernandes has managed to put those passes in. Put it across goal. It's just dangerous, isn't he? He just creates... That's why his stats for chance creation is just so high, because it's like every couple of minutes. I'll tell you what, that's an opportunity. Schick. Edge of the box for Czech Republic. If you can get the shot off. No, it's been blocked. Portugal claiming a handball. I think it's going to be given. It's interesting to see that Portugal have gone with a back three. With wing-backs. Is that regular for them? Do they always do that? Let me have a look at this. Game before they played Ireland. Did they play this? Yeah, they played that against Ireland. Game before that, they lost against Croatia before they played Ireland. Did they play it that day? That day they played a back four. So the last game they switched to that back three. Maybe that's what works for them. Before that against Croatia, what did they play? Let's have a look. Before that they played Finland. And and they played a back four that day. So maybe it's a recent thing. I don't know. Or maybe it's just, tactical versatility from the Portuguese head coach. Throw into Portugal. Going to be taken by Diogo Dalot. Look at Pepe. Pepe playing 41 years old in the Portuguese national side. And to be fair, it's not a case of he's just there because, it's Pepe and, what have you. Because when Pepe played for Porto against Arsenal, particularly in the second leg of the Emirates, I thought he was brilliant that day. He was absolutely sensational. Properly rolled back the years. Big games, big occasions. And of course, Arsenal won that game in the end on penalties. But that day, he was really good. It's not... Watching him, you wouldn't think he's 41. That would probably be my biggest compliment to him. You would assume, wow, he's been around for a while. He's probably mid to late 30s. Definitely not 41. He was excellent against Arsenal in the Champions League. Vitinha with a corner for Portugal. Goes to the edge of the box. Went towards, I think it's that Cancelo. It was. He went for the volley. And that's going to go all the way back. Diaz to Costa in goal. Of course, the name that Manchester United were linked with prior to signing Andre Onana. Some people wanted him. Some people were a bit not sold on cross-claiming. Of course, very good with his feet. Rafael Leao, easily dispossessed. Well, there you go. Nuno Mendes lost the ball there to Patrick Schick, who's really the danger man for them. Of course, scored a goal of the tournament at the last Euros from inside his own half against Scotland at Hampden Park. Absolutely fantastic goal, wasn't it? Now a bit of possession for the Czech Republic. I suppose one of the biggest things that Portugal are going to have to deal with too is just, can you deal with the pressure of being one of the favourites? Can you deal with the pressure of the expectation? Because I will say every single stream, because it's true. We wax lyrical about the players that they've got, and my goodness me, I think they've probably got the best squad of players. But it's not always the best squad that wins it. It's not always the best. That's a short pass, intercepted by Rafael Leao. And here comes Leao again. Down the left-hand side, he's one-on-one with the full-back, cuts it back, does the Ronaldo Ronaldo header! Oh! And I tell you what, the keeper for just a second was completely wrong-footed. I mean, I don't even think Ronaldo's touched the ball prior to this. But he does everything to try and sort of shift it, get his body behind it. And I think in the end it hits his shoulder and goes wide. I think that's why maybe the goalkeeper kind of lost his footing. He was maybe expecting something a bit different from Ronaldo. But he'll get, though, chance creation will be on a high for him. No doubt about it. Of course, at the last World Cup, Fernando Santos famously dropped him. And Gonzalo Ramos ended up, is he going to be in here? No, keeper sweeps up. Gonzalo Ramos scored that penalty, and then next thing you know, everyone was interested in him. And he ends up going to PSG and maybe not doing all that much. Here's Mendes to Pepe once more. João Cancelo. Pepe. Diaz. I'm trying to just sort of see the shape that the Czech Republic have got. I mean, they're playing with a back 3-2, which is going to shift into a back 5. Just sort of seeing Souček. I mean, they've got a back 5, and in front of them, they've got kind of 2 holding midfielders that will drop pretty deep. So they're firmly getting behind the ball, the Czech Republic. Which obviously can't blame them, considering the players that Portugal have. I was also reading that the coach for the Czech Republic, he's only had like 4 games with this team, because the person that secured the qualification isn't the manager anymore. So this is a Czech Republic side that haven't had a lot of games under this manager. I think one of the younger squads in the tournament too. So firm underdogs. There's a ball over the top though, towards Schick. He's up against Pepe. It's Prover, excuse me. Oh, and he just overran it. Goes out for a goal kick. But they'll probably look at that. They'll go 10 minutes in. It's 0-0. And there have been a couple of occasions. Not that Portugal have been super uncomfortable or anything like that. But just a couple of occasions where you've had some balls over the top. You've been able to sort of try and run at the defence a little bit. It is kind of there. It's not been total domination by any stretch of the imagination. Just stay in the game as long as you can. That's all you can do. That's a ball forward towards Cristiano Ronaldo. He goes down. Shoulder to shoulder. Didn't think it was a foul. There's nothing in it. It's good defending. Ronaldo goes down. Shoulder to shoulder. He's stronger than that. He knows it. He's looking for the foul. And it's going to be Soufal with the throw. And he doesn't look very happy with the ball. And it was a poor pass back. And he's absolutely sliced that. Hacked away to Bruno Fernandes. Vitinha to Ronaldo. Certainly a large Czech contingent there. Ronaldo touches the ball. Boos. Oh, Leao's gone past him. Ball across the box. Oof. And headed away. Oh, very poor by Souček. Mendes. I tell you what, Bernardo Silva could have turned out if he wanted to. Bruno Fernandes. Deep ball into the box. He's overhit that. Easy for the goalkeeper to claim. Jody says, "Oh, are you surprised Palhinha isn't playing?" Not really, because again, I think you look at that team and, that squad. There are a lot of players you can say I'm surprised they're not playing. You could, let's say, João Felix, I'm surprised he's not playing. You could say João Neves, Mateus Nunes, Ruben Neves. I'm surprised that they're not playing. Jota, I'm surprised he's not playing. You know, there's an argument to be made for a lot of players. I mean, there's kind of a lack of a defensive midfielder. I'll give you that. You know, Bruno Fernandes, of course, very attacking midfielder, dynamic midfielder. Vitinha, hardly a defensive midfielder. So maybe you do want to have that sort of ball winner in there. But maybe that will come later on in the tournament. And it's not a case of like a Gareth Southgate situation where it's like, oh, but you criticise Southgate for that. Well, I criticise Southgate for playing a right back there. I mean, I'm all for being progressive and playing attacking midfielders. You're going to have a lot of the ball. You're going to dominate the game. But just play actual midfielders there as opposed to right backs. If they play, you know, that ball's not going to go back to the goalkeeper. Cleans it up in the end. If they end up playing, you know, a France or an England or whatever, I would maybe expect Palhinha to start that one. They've put themselves in a bit of trouble here, Czech Republic. They clear it, goes out for a throw-in. And the rain continues to come down in Leipzig. It's been quite interesting, actually, because the rain's been coming down a lot in Germany today. Here in the UK, at least where I am, it's been a beautiful day. Been actually really hot, really warm. I don't know if that weather's on its way towards us. But as I said, the rain's been really coming down. In particular, for that Dortmund game. There was those scenes again, wasn't there, of the bit like at Old Trafford with the roof, with the leaky roof. But I think, considering the circumstances, I think the ground staff have done well to keep the pitches as best as they possibly can. Here's Ronaldo, Pepe. Vitinha once more. Good feet. Goes past. And he plays it off the referee. By the way, how many times in this tournament has that happened? Seriously. How many times have we seen the referee get in the way of the ball and now we've got to have the uncontested drop ball again? The dreaded uncontested drop ball. Can we call that? Mendes. Cross into the box. Nobody there. Well, we're into the 15th minute. Still 0-0. And by the way, Roberto Martinez is soaked. Look at his bald head, how shiny it is. My word. Get a hat. Get a raincoat. Ask McLaren. Get an umbrella. Get a brolly. I mean, they're just saying it on commentary. It's kind of true. The umbrella on the touchline was done possibly irreparable damage by Steve McLaren because of his antics. Here's Pepe. Once again, out to Mendes. Cancelo, Bernardo Silva. And this is why, you don't play Paulinho, because why? He got all the ball. They're trying to just, get it, try and get into the spaces, unpick the lock, as it were. Mendes once more. Little 1-2 of Bruno Fernandes. Diaz. Dalot. Here is Bruno Fernandes again. Outside of the boot. Great pass that. Look at that. To Mendes. Takes a shot. And that's wide. But now, I mentioned how earlier on Czech Republic had a bit of the ball. Now that is really going down, isn't it? A 70% possession to Portugal. Czech Republic just having to shift from side to side, try and retain their shape. Keep them to long shots as much as they can. As the rain continues to pout down in Leipzig. Long kick by the Czech Republic goalkeeper. That's one, but I think Diaz. Cristiano Ronaldo. Out to Cancelo. Cuts back, nearly slips a little bit as the rain starts to settle on the pitch. Pepe. It was unlucky. Pepe did a pass. It just looked like it maybe didn't have enough on it. And it was just going to make its way to Bernardo Silva, but he didn't kind of anticipate it because there was a touch from the Czech Republic player. Ends up coming off Silva and goes out for a throw-in as the Czech player tries to get the crowd into it. That's a good touch there. Vitinha wins it back. Look at him, he's everywhere. Just like that. You've got a throw-in. Vitinha wins it back. Possession once again regained by Portugal. It's a combination of excellent play from him, excellent work rate, but also from the Czech Republic. That's really disappointing. He just won it back, and now they've got possession again. Bernardo Silva. All the way back to Costa, the goalkeeper. Taking his time. Sweeps it out to Rafael Leao. Here's Mendes. Look at that. Keeps going. Keeps going. Is he going to go all the way by himself? Vitinha. Out to Dalot. Bruno Fernandes. Little reverse pass. Dalot. Vitinha. Dalot once more. They're in the box now. Dalot. Ronaldo went for the header. And it was flicked away by the Czech Republic. Good touch by Fernandes again. Ball across goal. Oh, it was a teaser. It was a teaser and headed for a corner by Sofau. And just like that, they just keep playing. Short passes, work it into the box. I think there's an argument to be said. The one that does probably look the most dangerous at the moment is Bruno Fernandes, putting crosses into the box. He's making things tick there. And he's just kind of floating all around. He's not sticking to one position. Difficult to pick up. The Manchester United captain. It's going to be a corner. Likes of Pepe are in the box. Same as Mendes. Vitinha's going to be on this set piece. Ball whipped in. Headed away. And that's hooked. Is there going to be a chance for a Czech Republic counter-attack? Nope. Goes out for a throw-in to Portugal. as we enter the 20th minute, still 0-0. This one, I think, is going to be well, the Czech Republic will probably want this to be they'll probably want this to be a as boring a game as they possibly can. Just frustrate Portugal. Keep frustrating them. Bendes. I mean, Portugal, apart from Pepe right now, have every single player, apart from their goalkeeper, of course, but they have every single player in the Czech Republic half. I mean, they are just pressing them, putting pressure on. And the Czech Republic, they're all camped in their own half too. Is Vitinha. Out to Diaz. Dallo. Little pass inside to Bruno Fernandes. Dallo once more. Well, I suppose it wouldn't be a Roberto Martinez side without a huge amount of possession. Whether or not they'll be able to play like this, throughout the entirety of the tournament, we'll have to wait and see. Here comes Ronaldo. He thought about the shot maybe. Cuts back onto his left foot. Gonna maybe look for a cross. Couple of step overs. Wouldn't be Ronaldo without it. Leao. And once again, looks like they're going to kind of recycle a bit. Vitinha. Passes out space. Diaz is going to take a shot. Deflection. That's a corner ball. But very, very, very patient build-up, isn't it? By Portugal. They'll just keep passing it. Reset if needed. Comes back. Vitinha sees that actually Diaz is in a lot of space outside the box. I'll tell you what was really interesting. I don't know if what coverage you guys have seen. Obviously, a lot of you are international too. But the coverage and the punditry, from Thomas Frank on BBC, I think it's been really, really good. It's levels above, isn't it? I mean, the people that are regular pundits, it must be said, I think when you get to international tournaments and you get people that are current coaches or really knowledgeable ex-pros, they do get shown up a lot, don't they? And Thomas Frank's punditry on BBC Sport, I think, has been fantastic. And he was offering a bit of an insight, saying that for his teams, and actually for quite a lot of teams too, he was saying that a lot of teams now, and he said it in this tournament, are taking shots more from in the box and actually almost refusing to take the shots from outside the box. Then, of course, he had a shot that was, very close to being outside the box, scoring the goal for Turkey. But it's kind of an interesting point there, saying that now, because of the style of play that most managers have, they don't want their players taking shots from 25 yards. They would prefer that they keep doing short passes to work it into the box and have a better chance of scoring, which is quite interesting. I haven't really considered that. Is Cancelo into the box, deflected a couple of times. But as fans, when we see, the goal open up 25, 30 yards out, we almost want the player to have the shot. But yeah, his punditry on BBC has been very, very good. I've enjoyed that immensely. Bruno Fernandes, speaking of shots, just tipped over the bar. Think a little bit of a deflection. If there was anyone you do want to have a shot from 25-30, it would be Bruno Fernandes. Scored some spectacular ones for Manchester United. Little deflection, it's dipping. But really, the danger man thus far has been Bruno Fernandes. I have really liked Vitinha and Bruno. They are completely running the show. Not that, again, there's much pressure from the Czech Republic. But Vitinha looks really tidy too. Speaking of which, just intercepted in the box. And that's going to be a throw-in. 25 minutes nearly gone, 0-0. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner as well. That's Diaz wins that header. Cancelo. Bit of a mistake by Bruno Fernandes. as Mendes just switches it into a bit of a dangerous area. Dallow's got to deal with that, and he does. Diogo Dalot, player of the season. Of course, Bruno Fernandes was the player of the season. The Portuguese duo, they're starting for United, for Portugal this evening. Excuse me. Oh, nearly a reverse pass. Was arguably our two best players this season. Oh, so far, a bit of a poor pass. Bernardo Silva steps up on that. Space opens up. Speaking of which, here is Bruno Fernandes. Ball across goal. Oh, it's very unlucky. It's a brilliant ball by Bruno Fernandes. And just Rafael Leao just can't make it. Look at this. Really nice pass. He's just trying to pick him out. Oh, it's really, really close. He just gets there too late, actually. Just misses it. But really, that's the last person you want to give that kind of space is Bruno Fernandes there. And really, the Czech Republic, they nearly shot themselves in the foot, too. But at the same time, it's 25 minutes, nearly 26 minutes, and the Czech Republic goalkeeper still yet to be sort of tested substantially, which they'll be happy about. That's what they'll be saying. But has the keeper had to make any big saves? No. So what do Portugal have to show for their 77% possession? A bit lucky with the layoff there. But Czech Republic are actually managing to travel forward just a smidge. A rare bit of possession from the Czech Republic here is Dodera. Got to learn some Czech Republic names. Oh, they've lost the ball here. I was looking at the chat. What's the pronunciation for this one? Makej? It says Portugal needs to make a statement in this game. Turkey has played with force. Well, I thought, like I said, I would expect Portugal to win all of the games in this group, but I thought Turkey and Georgia both played well. I mean, Turkey's the better team, but Georgia showed some fight and had a great atmosphere. Again, for me, that's the game of the tournament thus far. Really enjoyed it. And I don't know about you, but here's Rafael Leao. Let this play out. Gets the ball across goal. Somehow chests it back to the goalkeeper. That's gone out though. Poor goalkeeping. I thought that was going to be great composure from the fullback there. Look at this. Little chest back. And what's the keeper doing? What is the technique there? He doesn't expect the composure either. Leads to a corner. Now if this goes in, you'd be furious. And it's going to be a corner. Who's taken this? Sixth corner already. I think it's Vitinha again. This one's headed away by Schick. And the second ball headed away too for a Portuguese throw-in. And this is what's really interesting about this style, isn't it? And obviously, look, nowadays, a lot of people play this style of football. This gets back into the style of play debate again, doesn't it? Of this sort of heavy possession, dominate the ball, stay patient, wait for spaces to open up, tire the team out, and then eventually you win the game 3-0 or something like that. But as the game goes on, if you get to half-time and it's 0-0, if you get to 60 minutes and it's 0-0, then suddenly your fans start to get a little less patient. They start going, wow, be a bit more direct. These are fantastic players. What are we doing? But then a mistake like this, ball across goal towards Ronaldo. It's just a bit too far ahead of him. Is that going to go out for a goal kick? The ball refuses to go out. Hits the corner flag and does in the end. It's certainly a style of play that requires patience, isn't it? Patience and faith and composure. Of going, it will come. Don't worry, it will come. Be calm. But it's one of those ones where if they do get the early goal, then they're laughing. Because then they can just wait for teams to come out. They can keep, they can be patient. They can wait for those gaps to open up. Bruno Fernandes. To Mendes. And Ruben Diaz. Half an hour played. Still 0-0. Portugal have had 5 shots. 0 on target. Keeper's not been forced into any saves just yet. 75% possession. Is that going to be a foul? Referee says no. On João Cancelo. And Czech Republic now can travel with the ball just a little bit. Dudera. Oh, that's a sloppy pass given away. Oh, look at that turn. Brilliant turn by Bernardo Silva. Here is Bruno Fernandes once again. About 25 yards out. Reverse pass. Rafael Leao into the box. Onto his right foot. Really makes a bit of a mess of it. Still has the ball. Tries the cross. Blocked. Bernardo Silva. Gives it back to Vitinha. He's been really impressive in this first half. Cancelo. Who loses the ball again. But quick press by Portugal. Win the ball back immediately. Still under pressure. And goes across to Pepe. Bruno Fernandes once more. Oh, brilliant pass. Oh, Ronaldo, great save. That is, Vitinha shoots. I'm telling you now, Bruno Fernandes, brilliant pass. And that's why he's the danger man. Obviously, they're going to be looking at Ronaldo that he missed a chance. But look at this pass. He's onside, Ronaldo, I think. It's tight. It's very, very tight. There's the fullback for the Czech Republic might have been playing him on, maybe just possibly off. But it's the pass by Bruno Fernandes, and that's why he's dangerous. That's why he's so dangerous. Because he can just do that. He just floats around into little pockets, little gaps. And he scans. He looks. It's a bit like for the goal for Kobe Manu in the FA Cup final. He's already thinking, if I get the ball here, this is going to be my pass. Brilliant pass. Again, probably would have been just offside, I think. But it would have been close. But this is the positive thing with this tournament, yeah. With that, like in the Premier League, if you see the replay, you'd have gone, well, might be onside, might be offside, but even if it was, we'd be waiting 4 or 5 minutes to find out. This is why semi-automated offside's brilliant, and why it should have been in the Premier League for the longest time, because whenever we've had these little back heel by Cristiano Ronaldo, nearly goes all the way. Looked like Vitinha was going to be through on goal there. It's Ronaldo this time with the link-up play. Look at this. Takes a touch, little back heel. Vitinha's nearly through on goal. And it's actually, who was it? Haranac in the end gets the block. But that's the great thing with the offsides in this tournament. It's just immediately, it's like ref goes like that, 20, 30 seconds, it's offside, done. Corner ball, Vitinha. Looks like Portugal's kind of turned the screw a little bit here. Vitinha, they've got this short corner routine that they've done twice now. And no one puts any pressure on him. Like twice, they've done the short corner where it's Vitinha to Bernardo Silva. Just gives it back to Vitinha. He's got a better place to cross it. They're not picking that up, which is quite surprising. Cancelo. Diogo Dalot. Bruno Fernandes. Cross was cleared. Is that going to be a foul? Referee says no. And here's Diaz once more. And the problem is just as time goes on, the only thing you would say about the Czech Republic, it just doesn't feel like they've got that sort of goal threat. I mean, they've got Patrick Schick, I suppose. Maybe you look at set pieces. At this stage, you're looking at it going, well, 11 minutes to half-time. Let's just get to half-time. 0-0. They can get a draw out of this game. It'd be fantastic for him. Vitinha. Goes out to Rafael Leao. Tries to go around the outside. Cuts back onto his right foot. That is the one thing I would say about Leao. Look, I don't watch him every single week. I don't watch Serie A that much. But I know that this season, there has been a lot of talk about Rafael Leao, about going, well, for all of the praise that he's got, let's have a look at his numbers. Because so far, he's looked a bit dangerous, but his end product just not been there at all. Let's have a look. His stats. Current season. So he played 47 games, 15 goals, 14 assists. To be fair, it's not bad going. What's his injury record like? Injury record's very good. Only missed 3 games in Serie A with a muscle injury. Played all the Europa League games. Missed one Champions League game through that same hamstring injury. But we're not in the territory for left wingers. We've got like 10 million of them. Maybe if we lose one. Although, to be fair, what impressed me the most there is assists. Because that says to me that's a winger that's actively looking. Here he is again, or nearly. That says to me that's a winger that's actually looking to create chances for the striker, which is a problem in our team. You get the impression that a lot of our wingers is just purely goal focused. That's a throw into Portugal. Is Souček down? That might be a bit of a problem. He's their captain. This would be a massive problem for the Czech Republic. Is that cramp? I mean, he's holding his calf. Maybe he's pulled his calf, something like that. He's trying to stretch it out. Let's have a look. He just goes down. There's no contact or anything like that. Maybe he just pulled his calf. Looks like he's in a bit of discomfort. Here's Pepe. Bettina. Well, we are 37 minutes, 38 minutes. Still 0-0. What was that? Bruno just left the ball. he just left it. And Czech Republic won it back. Here you go. This might be an opportunity for him. Lays it off. Reverse pass. Oh, they've still got it here. Holesh. Soof out. Ball into box. It's not a bad one. Oh! I think Schick should do better. I think it is Patrick Schick. I think that's a chance. But here come Portugal on the counter-attack. First time they'll have some space to go into. Here is Rafael Leao. Everything's back down this left-hand side. Oh, skips it ahead. You're looking for it. You are looking for it. Oh, referee's booked him. Wow. I thought for me that Leao was looking for it. He hits it ahead. He hits it ahead and he goes down. Or is he saying it's a booking for a dive? I think he might give a dive. If it is, I think it's the right call. I think it's a dive. Let's have a look. No, it's nothing in it. That was my initial reaction, was that it was a dive. It's a dive, yeah. Commentators, come on, switch on. I'm watching it here. You're in the stadium, man. Immediately I said it was a dive. And they're still talking like it's a free kick going, yeah, it's a body check. Yeah, and Danny Murphy's going, oh, yeah, it is actually a dive. Of course it was a dive. You could see it. Referee's not dumb. You see Rafael Leao, exactly what he does. When they do that like heavy touch forward to knock it past the player and then they go down, it was a dive. Commentators. Oh, yeah, I think it was the body check. Oh, has he been booked? Is it a dive? Is that a dive? My word. Good decision by the referee, though. He's had a good game. Kucha. Sof out. Another good ball into the box. Headed away. Not like that referee last night. I mean, I better not see him in any more European matches. That referee last night was rubbish. Here's Bruno Fernandes, travels with the ball. What options has he got? He's still looking for the run from Ronaldo. Ronaldo's into the box. Gives it to Diogo Dalot. Bruno Fernandes. Ruben Diaz. I was watching this clip of Martin Tyler the other day, and he was saying that they get this thing from the Premier League every year. It's the same thing when they get the players to say their names, so you know how to pronounce their names. And he was like, we get it every year, and Bruno Fernandes says Bruno Fernandes, but we just refuse to call him that, basically. And I was like, but he says how to say his name. And they go, we just don't say it. And he listed some other examples. Like Gus Poyet, that's not how to say his name. I forget what they said it was. But that wasn't how you say his name. And they would just like, oh no, we're just not going to say that. I mean, his thing, when he says how to say his name, he does his full name, middle names included. And they're not going to do that. Speaking of which, there is Bruno Fernandes. Big switch. Good control by Leao. Had to juggle it a little bit, but gets it down. Mendes. Vitinha, who I do like the look of. He's energetic. He's always trying to get the ball forward. Bruno tried to force it. Tried to force it one. That's a Bruno special. Ball through the eye of a needle. Takes risks. Speaking of which, is Pepe. He tried to pass it through to Bernardo Silva. It's blocked. He tried to fizz that one back to the Czech Republic goalkeeper. Clears it in the end. That's flicked on. 3 minutes left until half-time. Czech Republic will be looking to hold on. If they can get to half-time 0-0, they'll be loving that. Because really, it's been a lot of possession for Portugal, but maybe a bit of all bark, no bite. 74% of the ball, 8 shots, 2 on target. But the key metric, the key stat, 0-0. It'll be interesting to see what changes, if any, Roberto Martinez makes. He's got a plethora of options. It's not as if he turns to his bench and he goes, I've just got no one to bring on, really. Who can I bring on to change the game? Or does he do what is known as a Southgate? Let's wait till 75 minutes. Oh, skips past him. Good feet by Diogo Dalot. Vitinha. Outside of the boot pass to Mendes. Who tries the ball over the top. That ain't going nowhere, mate. Out for a goal kick. And that kind of sums them up in this first half, really, Portugal, doesn't it? A lot of the ball. Some passes better than others, but that ball over the top goes out for a goal kick and you go. But nearly at half time, and I'm sure the Czech Republic players are very tired. They've had to do a lot of running off the ball and keep their shape, a lot of concentration. But have they been really tested? Have they been really, backs against the wall? Big header by Mendes. Souček. That was a good pass. Sweeps it out to Dudera. Schultz tries to flick. They're very good at winning it back, aren't they, Portugal? That's a foul on the edge of the box. They're very good at pressing it, getting it back quickly, but I think that's also because the Czech Republic aren't really all that on the ball. Every time they look to pass it, they look very uncomfortable. João Cancelo, what they are good at is keeping their shape off the ball and getting people behind the ball. Here's Leao, who has looked dangerous off the left, tries to get it across goal, and that's going to be a corner. Corner ball to Portugal. But maybe that's the frustrating thing with Rafael Leao too. He's got all of those assists. He did get goals in Serie A this season, but maybe he just needs a lot of a lot of opportunities to do so. You know, what's the sort of hit rate like? That's the third time they've done that short corner routine. This time it's with Bruno Fernandes, and they're just not going to cut that out. Ronaldo in the box, turns, shoots, saves. Keeper has to make the save. And Ronaldo, just like that, just like a flash. Turn and shoot. Cancelo. Dallo, that's a terrible cross. Are we going to see anything from the Czech Republic before half-time? I mean, it's about 30 seconds left, only 1 minute of stoppage time. And once again, that was my point a minute ago, is that for all of their good work off the ball and really good defensive shape, the Czech Republic, on the ball, they are rubbish. they are rubbish. They get it, and they're so conscious of not losing it, they just give it away. Leao, once again, no end product. Gets a lot of bites at the cherry, doesn't he? Oh, there's an opportunity. Maybe they can break here. Dudera once more for Czech Republic. Or do they just hold it, try and get to half-time? Indeed they do. It is half-time, and it's 0-0. I suppose my question would be, is it an upset if it ends up 0-0? Possibly. But I think that would probably be fair to say. 0-0 at half-time in Leipzig. Again, a lot of puff from Portugal, but no bite. A couple of saves from Czech Republic goalkeeper, from Cristiano Ronaldo. One probably was going to be offside. But after what I thought was probably the match of the tournament earlier today with Turkey versus Georgia, this one's been a bit flat, a bit of a dud. With the favourites, one of the favourites for the tournament, having a lot of the ball, not a million chances, and still waiting for their tournament to get going. Maybe it's as dull as the weather in Germany on this Tuesday, the 18th of June. Let me know what you think in the chat about that. Certainly not blown away by one of the favourites, or certainly my pick. Does that mean 45 minutes in? Well, they're not going to win the Euros now. Absolutely not. I changed my pick. No, definitely not. I mean, this is the same Portugal that won the Euros after drawing all of their group games. They finished for 3 points. I think they finished third, didn't they? And ended up going all the way. So it doesn't mean all that much. But maybe you expected a bit more. Maybe second half we'll get a bit more from them. Cristiano Ronaldo, a couple of chances. People that have impressed me from Portugal. Vitinha looks lively. I like how he picks up the ball and travels with it. Bruno Fernandes, a couple of really nice passes here and there. Rafael Leao's had a lot of the ball and a lot of opportunities from the left-hand side. End product just is not there at all. I can imagine if he's like that every week for AC Milan, that would be a very frustrating player to watch, wouldn't it? Because that's almost like the Rashford effect, isn't it? Of get a lot of the ball and then you go, yeah, but you've got to do something with it eventually. But at least with Leao, he's actually beating the player there. We've got to the point with Rashford last season, he couldn't even beat the player, could he? Whereas Leao can actually get past the player. It's just his end product is just not there. I would have reservations too, and a couple of mates actually were messaging me before the game. We were talking about this, saying that, let me know what you think in the chat about this one. Do you think, with the players that Portugal have, do you think that a back three / back five, back three of wing backs or a back five, is that really suited to these players? Is that the best system for them? Would it not be better if they had the more traditional back four? They can have an extra man in midfield or something like that. Would that not be more, appropriate? I don't know if that's really necessary. Is that if that's it just doesn't feel like that's the best use of the players that they've got, really. I don't know if once again that's just the case of Roberto Martinez being like, well, those wing backs get into midfield, so it's technically like almost four in midfield, and these centre backs get really wide and almost actually get as wide or slot into the midfield too. So we've got loads of people up the pitch. I don't know. I just don't know if it's actually working, really, thinking about it. I think they'd be better suited to a more traditional back four, and having Bruno a bit closer in behind of Cristiano Ronaldo, and maybe having those like Leao and Bernardo Silva a bit further out wide, or finding a way to get Bernardo Silva and Bruno in behind Ronaldo a bit more. Just again, something, and maybe a bit like the sort of chat was saying earlier on, as much as I've sort of Vitinha's done well, maybe you would just look at having just a defensive midfielder so you could commit a further man forward. Don't know. I'm not sure. What are people saying here? Oh, there you go. Look, there you go. Show we're on the same wavelength. Saying the 3-4-3 system doesn't suit these players. Martinez needs to be a bit more positive. Yes, you did read my mind before I'd ask a question. Tywin says, who else here wants Portugal to lose so Bruno Gandala can have a rest? Eric Ten Hag says, we have a holiday here in the US tomorrow. Let's effing go. Already half drunk. Well, good for you. What holiday is it tomorrow in the US? US holiday 2024. Let me know. Which one is it? Oh, is it Juneteenth tomorrow? There you go. So that, yeah, I didn't know that. As Riri says, there you go, Juneteenth. What else are people saying here too? Bacon Butty says poor. CFC Mossy says was never going to be a good game after being spoiled with the Turkey and Georgia game. And Dan says, is it me or does Bernardo Silva look like a passenger in the game? Again, I don't know if that's because of the position he's been played in. I don't know, and it's only 45 minutes in the first game. Can't get too carried away, I suppose. But just kind of, if that's what the Portugal way of playing is under Roberto Martinez, which I don't really doubt. I don't really doubt that actually that is how they play. I mean, they had a 100% winning record in qualifying, and Roberto Martinez, that's how he plays football. Very possession based, have a lot of the ball, just continually break teams down. But if that is the case, you need a bit more end product. Just feels at points a bit flat, and as tired as the Czech Republic look, and maybe this might be just the plan. It's just no, we'll just keep doing it as we keep going. And eventually they'll tire, gaps will open up, and we'll comfortably win the game. I could absolutely see that happening. But against the bigger teams, are you going to be able to really do that? I don't know. And yeah, we'll see what happens in the second half. And look, a lot of people looking at Roberto Martinez, as I mentioned. He had the golden generation of Belgium. And that's another thing I was going to bring up. These, I know this is hardly a new talking point. Oh, and you're uncovering the really, no one's ever brought this up, but the FIFA World Rankings are bullshit. A fraudulent list they are, and it's been the case for years, isn't it? When you go, so and so are playing the number one ranked FIFA team, you only care about it if you're either the number one ranked team or you beat the number one ranked team. You go, we beat the number one ranked FIFA team in the world. How impressive was that? They're nonsense, aren't they? They really are absolutely, completely bullshit. The FIFA rankings, because I mean, is it Belgium that's still FIFA number one ranked team? FIFA Men's World Ranking. Argentina at the top, because they won the World Cup, I would assume. France are 2, which you would say that's fair. You know, France are the second best team in the world. Fair enough. This is as of April, so this is about out of date. Belgium are 3rd. Not the Belgium that I saw yesterday. I don't know about that. England are 4th. Would you say England are the 4th best team in the world? I don't know about that either. With some of the teams that are beneath us. So according to this, England are better than Brazil, better than Portugal, better than the Netherlands, better than Spain, better than Italy, Croatia 10th. The United States are 11th. But I suppose it's just purely based on, I guess, how well you do in tournaments. Yes, because, for instance, Germany are the 16th ranked team in the world. Above them are the likes of Mexico, Uruguay, Morocco, but of course that would be based upon them doing very well in the World Cup. So I guess that's probably what it's about. And I suppose recently England have got fairly late in the tournaments, maybe, you know, by that Euros final, World Cup quarter final, but previous to that, you know, World Cup semi-final, I suppose. But it's like with anything, isn't it? Is it how realistic are they? How accurate are they? Am I comfortable saying that England are better than Brazil and Portugal? But, certainly when it comes to the World Cup, Brazil haven't, performed superly well in the World Cup for quite some time, have they? But Belgium, the biggest one is Belgium third. Belgium, the third best team in the world. Really? And I'd like to know how much these points are weighted, because according to this list, again, which is in April, England are a point behind them. So you would think maybe, but then Belgium have just gone above us. Was that because when we played them in that friend? I don't know. Why am I trying to make sense out of things that lack any logic? Get rid of that. As far as the games that are on tomorrow, as I mentioned, we're back to 3 games a day. So the games I'll probably be looking to do, I want to do Germany versus Hungary tomorrow, because I really enjoyed watching Germany against Scotland, and I want to see if that was just Scotland being Scotland, or if Germany are going to be really all that in this tournament. And I probably will do Scotland versus Switzerland, not because that's a game that really sort of screams out to you, but just because of how poor Scotland were in that first game, and sort of reaction in the press. The reaction in the press has actually been quite fascinating to it, because the general consensus has been, look, we knew we were going to lose, but we didn't think it was going to be like that. That was terrible. And I saw that Steve Clarke, obviously the players talk to the media. I saw that on one of the days, it was Steve Clarke that spoke to the media instead of a player. He kind of broke his own rule. And some of the things he was saying was quite interesting, going, well, I did some things wrong. Players did some things wrong. Maybe that was interesting was he's like, maybe I gave the players too much information. Maybe I gave the players too much information or too many instructions. I was like, I don't know. Some of your instructions were wild. So let's put Scott McTominay on set pieces. Did no one raise their hands as if to say, but, boss, I think that if you see him play for Man United this season, I mean, he scored some goals for Man United. It's quite important. Probably have him in the box, really. Nope. He's going to be taking the free kicks. He's going to be on corners. Who knows how to take a set piece better than someone that actually scores from set pieces and crosses quite often? He'd know how to take the cross. He'd put in there the ball that he would like for himself. That's what we're going to have. It's like, okay. It's very Harry Kane and Phil Jones taking corners kind of energy. So we'll see if they can. We'll see what happens with that one. What else have we got? A lot of talk about Brazil, saying about how Brazil have failed to deliver. Lots of people saying if they saw if I saw the Ronaldinho comments. I did, but then I saw something afterwards, and I don't know if that was true or not. Because obviously he did the thing saying about. He said the thing about saying that he'd fallen out of love with football and all this kind of stuff, or it wasn't the same, so he wouldn't be watching any of the games. But then he kind of walked it back. He walked it back by writing. So it's a really weird story, this. So the initial story is he did this interview or something. He was like, I'm not going to watch any of the games. It's not the same anymore. The passion's been taken out of the game, or the flair's been taken out of the game. No, it's and Brazil's feeling maybe one of the worst teams in years, is a quote he said. But then he's now said this was all a part of an advertising campaign for a deodorant brand, and it wasn't his own words. He said, quote, I would never abandon supporting Brazil, he wrote on his Instagram account. These words of abandonment of mine, in fact, were reproductions of real posts from fans on social media. Imagine hearing these reviews before playing. It's not possible. Motivation goes down. The support of the fans makes a huge difference for the players, and what they need is support at this time, he added before plugging the deodorant brand. He said, here's what the original post was on Instagram. It's difficult to find energy to watch the games. This is maybe one of the worst teams in recent years. It has no respectable leaders, just average players for the most part. I've been following football since I was a kid, long before I thought about becoming a player, and I've never seen a situation as bad as this. There's a lack of love for the shirt, a lack of determination, and most importantly, a lack of football. The performance has been one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's a shame. That's why I declare I'm giving up here. I won't watch any Copa America games, and I won't celebrate if Brazil win. Now, Now it's saying it was all part of an ad for deodorant. What? It was part of an ad campaign. Who would agree to such an ad campaign? And what's the payoff? This deodorant that I'm pushing here, now everyone in Brazil hates it because the campaign was let's slag off the Brazil team. Yeah, very, very bizarre. Very bizarre. And the worst thing is, it works so against them in the sense of everyone agreed. Everyone agreed with what Ronaldinho said in the first place. Those initial comments when he was like, it's one of the worst teams ever, football's changed, blah, blah, blah. Everyone went, yeah, he's right. There was a lot. I mean, I suppose the outrage was how brutally honest it was. But the outrage wasn't necessarily of the fact that what he was saying was completely off base. And now he's walked it back and said, well, that's just what fans say. That's what fans say. It's all about deodorant. It's about feeling fresh. What? What are we doing? But yeah, that's a nice little story, though, isn't it? Going into the Copa America. But I'm going to do that next time. If anything, if I ever go too far in the criticism of a player, which I try not to do, I try not to make it personal or just take the low hanging fruit because it's just, I don't see the point of it. You always, good rule of thumb, say stuff you'd be comfortable saying to someone's face, right? Keep it to football. But if the ever day comes, you're only human. If the day comes that I do slip up, I'm just going to go, well, that was an ad. In fact, I'm just going to go through life doing that now. If I'm in an argument with someone, I'll go, hey, fuck you. And they'll be like, excuse me. I'll go, advertisement. All right. Oh, thank you. Can you get me any free products? Oh, yeah, maybe. Just an ad. An advert. Promotional. I gotcha. Part of an ad. The players are back out on the pitch. Still raining in Leipzig. As we wait for kickoff. And can the Czech Republic hang on? 45 extra minutes. Get a big point. And maybe put Portugal on the back foot when it comes to that group. Turkey would be top. And we're off. Second half is underway. Any substitutions at half time? I don't think so. Dan says, yes, we did not slag off Harry Maguire. It was all part of an aftershave advert. Promotional. I mean, Arsenal did not, bottle the league a couple of times in a row. That was all actually part of a Prime Hydration advertisement campaign. Not many people know that, actually. But it was. Big campaign. Got paid really well for it. Yeah. Smart. Very smart. Here's Bernardo Silva. Dispossessed. Here's Dallo. Takes a shot. Oof, goes over the bar. We know he's got a shot on him. Scored some good goals for Manchester United from outside the box. Cuts inside onto his left foot. But in the end, goes over the bar. And it's a goal kick to Czechia. Big kick by the goalkeeper. Flicked on by Schick. Nobody there. All the way back to Pepe. Oh, players down. Is it a head injury? I tell you what was also wild last night with France. That the intention initially for Kylian Mbappe was, let's just get another shirt on him. His nose is like this. And they're going, well, can we change the jersey? Can he play on? Can we do that? And there's like 8 minutes left in the game. And like, can we maybe just change the shirt, perhaps? I mean, he's very fortunate. It looks like he's going to miss the rest of the group stage. He's not going to miss the rest of the tournament. Doesn't need an operation. Of course, he's going to end up needing to wear a mask. Well, that's a poor pass. And once again, they've done this quite a few times, the Czech Republic, in this game, haven't they? Whenever they get an opportunity to maybe get in behind or something, they screw up the pass. Here comes Bruno Fernandes, still travelling. Bruno Fernandes finds Bernardo Silva. It's just a bit of a heavy pass. Ends up winning the corner. But so often in the first half, and they've done it again here, where they actually press pretty well, the Czech Republic, and then they just give it away immediately. But it's a corner. Will they keep the same corner routine? Yep, they will again. Short corner. Still not looked at that. That's wasteful, isn't it? Vitinha, right over the bar of a cross. I mean, I think the mask that Mbappe should wear, I mean, there's a couple he could wear. He could wear Rey Mysterio's, maybe Kane's from WWE. That would be a good one, perhaps. I mean, there was loads of masks last night on Raw with the Wyatt 6. Maybe they wear those masks. And one's a rabbit, but... Or like a Phantom of the Opera mask where it's just one side of the face. I like those ones. That would be good. But here's Portugal. Still 0-0 after 4 minutes of the second half. Show says, what about the Halloween mask? Yeah, that would be good. Mike Myers. Or Michael Myers. Which I think, isn't the original Halloween mask a mask of Captain Kirk from Star Trek? I think it is. And Czech Republic have won the ball back. Now, can they actually do a half-decent pass? Patrick Schick. Oh, what a waste. Again, no end product in this game at all. For both teams. They get in half-decent positions and smash it. Look at that from Patrick Schick. What is he trying to do there? That's a cross or a shot. But no good. Andy says Mankind's mask. That would be good. Or the Bane mask. Yep. They'd be enjoyable. Kylian Mbappe to wear. I mean, now, I'm sure there are probably rules and regulations against it. But if you were a sponsor and you wanted to make a ton of money, you'd have talks, wouldn't you? Hey, what can we put on the mask? Or maybe he'll just wear Memphis Depay's headband over his nose. Maybe he'll wear that. You know, because that worked really well for Memphis in the Netherlands game, didn't it? The white headband with golden numbering on it. That worked tremendously. Put that on his nose. My word. Is Diaz. Diogo Dalot. Didn't really have many touches in the first half, did he? He's just lost the ball there. Here come the Czech Republic. And immediately, they've lost it again. How many times do they want to do that? Linda says the Fiend's mask. Yeah. That is, for me, the Fiend's mask in WWE is one of the best masks. Because when he put it on, you really couldn't tell that was actually him. Like, he properly transformed. That and the contact lenses and sort of the makeup. You knew it was him, because obviously the tattoos and what have you. But you looked at him, you went, you can't really see. You couldn't really tell. And then you got to be athletic in that. Imagine breathing in it. Horrible. Andy says a Nike-branded pic of his own face, full mask. Maybe even like a French flag or something. Ruben says, Owen, what's your problem with Memphis? I don't have no problem at all. I don't know him. My thing was with that game, it's like with anything, isn't it? That kind of accessory, as it were. If it's very bold, isn't it? It's very bold. And if you're going to do it, you've got to back it up, haven't you? You make yourself an easy target in that regard. People are like, oh, stupid headband. And to be honest, with Memphis as well, I think that one really could have worked out for him at Man United. But you just always got the impression that, like with a lot of Man United transfers over the years, that like half the battle in a footballing career is get into the big club, isn't it? Get into the big club. But then the next half of the battle is, well, you've made it now, but what are you going to create for yourself? What legacy are you going to create for yourself at that club? And so many Man United players over the last 10 years, it's just been good enough to play for United as opposed to win anything with Manchester United or as opposed to progress with Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? But I don't have a problem with Memphis. Memphis Depay, anything like that. I just thought the headband was a bit much for me. I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised. I'd like to know what the rules and regulations are of it. Because you remember for a while where, what are they called? Snoods? Are they the things that go here? For a while people wore them and then they got banned, didn't they, I think? So I'd like to know what the sort of regulations are for that kind of stuff. Like, it's like the Sean Dyche principle, isn't it? He doesn't allow any of his players to train in anything that you couldn't wear on a Saturday or a Sunday in a match. Basically, if you're not allowed to wear that during a match, then you don't train like that. You only train in proper regulation gear, which I think is fair. Here's Bernardo Silva, Vitinha, Dalot. Ball across goal, Ronaldo heads it over the bar. And I suppose as well you could say with that Dyche thing when he's, you can only play in stuff that you can wear during a match. But part of it, you could say, oh, who really cares? But so I think maybe sometimes half the battle of being a manager, isn't it, is having that respect and that discipline. Having that, and also trying to keep, it's a very ball across goal, flicked away. What I suppose is a really difficult job, particularly at big clubs, is how do you keep the respect, how do you keep the discipline, and how do you keep, and I suppose it's the case of a lot of Premier League clubs just in general now, ball across goal, Ronaldo, just taken off his head. Cancelo tries to go past him, ball across goal, punched away, and cleared. How do you keep, multi-millionaires grounded? How do you keep multi-millionaires grounded enough and sort of in touch with reality? Because let's be honest, the modern day footballer probably isn't massively in touch with everyday reality. They do tend to really live in a bubble from sort of the real world and whatnot. So that's I guess why it'd be called being a manager. You've got to manage players. Is Diaz. Cancelo travels with the ball. But at the same time, I say manage, players and keep them grounded. To be a top level footballer at the biggest and best clubs, you do have to have ego. You do have to have swagger because you need that personality on the pitch. So it's a very fine balancing act, isn't it? Is that going to be a foul? It is. Free kick to Portugal. Was it Patrick Schick? I think he's been booked. Yellow card for him. Now, I wonder who's going to stand over this. Is it going to be Bruno Fernandes? Is it going to be Ronaldo? If it is Ronaldo, I think probably Czech Republic would prefer it's Ronaldo. Rattle it into the wall or miles over the bar. But look, he scored one from this kind of position against Spain, didn't he? When was that? Was that the World Cup? I think that was. But he changed his technique, didn't he? He changed his technique where he, instead of trying to do the whole laces stuff, he did the side foot and he put it in the top corner. What's he going to try? He does the side foot. Howard in the end. Thought he might change the technique. He did that against, like I said, did it against Spain way back when in those sort of central positions. But keeper's comfortable. I mean, if that went in, it would be a disaster for the goalkeeper. But it was on target, which is a rarity for Ronaldo free kicks, isn't it? I mean, and it's really teaming it down at Leipzig at the moment. The rain is falling hard. Oh, nice flick. Beautiful. Oh, Bernardo Silva just tried to reverse it across goal. I don't know if he should have, but it's blocked in the end. But who was that with the flick? Look at that. Here's Vitinha again. Bruno Fernandes. Cancelo ball in. Diaz cleared. I mean, it feels like maybe it's a matter of time, but you do just feel like Czech Republic, if they can just be 5% better on the ball, they'll have a chance, but they just can't keep it. Ronaldo, he's massively overhit that, and with how much water's on the pitch, it's got to go right out for a throw-in. Couple of subs, I think, are on the horizon here. They're still showing that Ronaldo free kick. I genuinely believe Ronaldo, at this stage in his career, is just on free kicks purely because of the stance. You know what I mean? It's the stance. It's the build-up. It's the presentation, isn't it? It's the presentation of like, well, it's Ronaldo. He does the wide stance. He does the big breath. He does a couple of steps back. Like that just generates reaction as opposed to actually scoring the goal, really. And the only times that he rarely now scores, well, there's only two ways that the free kick goes in. It's one, if he does the normal stance and technique that he's done for years, where it goes through the wall because the wall's rubbish. Or two, a bit like then, if he changes it and hits it with his side foot, that it could go in. Maybe. But that's still quite unlikely. But if you were, a Bruno Fernandes, you'd be looking at it going, I'd get on target. I could have a go. Same with, Bernardo Silva. You got some proper free kick takers in that team. "61 minutes, though. Still 0-0. We haven't had a 0-0 yet in this tournament. But you do get the impression maybe there is a goal in this game. Ball whipped in. Ooh. Glanced wide by Czech Republic, but still going to be kept on. Dudera. That's a good ball into the box. Is it going to fall back? Edge of the box. Shoot! Oh, it's in! I said there was a goal in this game, and it's for the Czech Republic. It's a screamer. The knee slides are happening because the Czech Republic now. What's that? Can you hear it? Is that an upset we've got on our hands? I think it might be. I think it just might be. I mentioned it in the first half that as time rolls on and it's still 0-0, you look at this possession play, the tippy-tappy, little bit of passing here, a little bit of passing there. Czech Republic stay in the game, and if they could just be 5% better with the ball, Czech Republic, just 5% better with the ball, then they would have a chance. And just that, they've stayed in the game. Ball comes out to the edge of the box, and it's a brilliant goal. Take a look at this. Comes back to the 14. It's Provod. About sort of 20 yards out. And he just side foots it. Whips it. Oh, it's sensational. Off the post. Costa can't get near it. And now, Portugal, what have you got? You've been playing nicey nice for 62 minutes. You've been playing pretty football. You've been playing possession football. You got nothing to show for it. Now can you fight back? Oh my. Substitutions are now made. Diogo Dallo is off. Rafael Leal is off. Gonzalo Ignacio, we've been linked to. And Jota, are on. Are they going to change shape? We shall see. But I'm glad because really, again, you get to 63 minutes and Portugal not offered really all that much. They haven't. And for the team that I said was my pick, talk about the kiss of death, by the way. I tell you what, my family curse is really starting to kick in here. I might as well have some of these Portuguese players on the back of my shirt. And now you would think Czech Republic are now just going to get more compact. Portugal now got to be a bit more direct. Now this would be the biggest upset thus far. The biggest one at the moment, of course, is the Belgian one to Slovakia. But Portugal, many people's picks to go all the way, losing the first game to the Czech Republic. That would be something. Wouldn't be everything. Because, of course, you know, you need about 3 points to go through, really. Diaz. Well, they've lost it again here, Portugal. Now, if you're smart, do you win a foul or do you go the whole way? Ketil, I don't think it's a foul. I think maybe you've got to be a bit more street smart there. You've travelled with the ball, go down, waste a bit of time. That's another ball over the top from Portugal. So, and again, their end product just has not been there. Some crosses, some passes, some whatever. Just really flat. And do you know what it is? Do you know what it's funny too? Look at Martinez. You know what it is as well? This is what's funny about this kind of style of football, this sort of possession-based football, is that you watch it, and if nothing happens for sort of 20, 25 minutes, you go, well, let's see, let's keep going. And you watch it for like 35 minutes, nothing happens. You go, oh, not a lot's happened here, but we'll see. When it gets to like 65 minutes, suddenly it kind of just dawns on you, doesn't it? They go, they've done nothing. They've done nothing in the game. And so the game just kind of sort of drifts by. There's no real impetus from Portugal. And now look at Ronaldo. Now he's getting bitchy. He's having a word with the referee, who I think's done really well in this game. How is he complaining? Ronaldo, how are you complaining? He's just been kicked in the head. Spirit of HBK. All right, so free kick to the Czech Republic. Ball over the top. I reckon there might be another goal in this for the Czech Republic too. And that's a throw-in. Bit of momentum. Red Baron with the super stat says, Portugal remind me of England so far. I think maybe just a bit of a disservice to England. Maybe. Although, to be fair, I get your point, your sentiment of just sort of getting that sort of sideways possession. And it kind of is, it's a bit of an illusion, isn't it, sometimes? Possession football, don't get me wrong. Possession football can mean you're dominating the game and the opposition team has no idea what, can't handle you. It's like the Pep situation, isn't it? Where you just dominate, and you wear them down and you score goals. But sometimes it is a bit of an illusion in the sense of it would suggest that you're dominating, you're in control, but you're really not. You know what I mean? You're really not. It would suggest that, oh yeah, but they've had 70% of the ball, so they're really on top. Well, you can have not a lot of the ball and still be in control. You can still have 20% of the ball and be like, well, we're not under that much pressure here. We're fine. That's kind of the case with the Czech Republic, isn't it, in this game? It's the mirage of possession. Jota tried a forward pass through there. Blocked. I think that went off. Now it has. 68 minutes though. Portugal 0, Czech Republic 1. Here's Diaz. Vitinha. I mean, you would think that Portugal will get a chance at some point. Or do they just go for the next however many minutes and just carry on doing what they're doing? We shall see. Bernardo Silva. Vitinha headed the cross goal. It's in. It's an own goal. And it's an own goal. And the irony is, again, it doesn't come from Portugal putting the ball in the back of the net. It's a mistake from the Czech Republic. Not the first own goal we've seen in this tournament. Saw one yesterday. And now they're level. The lead didn't last long. And to be fair, it's the reaction maybe that Portugal would have been looking for. Ball across goal. Heads it. Oh, it's just clumsiness from the centre-back. Look, goalkeeper pushes it onto centre-back. It's avoidable, isn't it? It's avoidable. I'm not really sure what the goalkeeper's doing. Because even if the player's not there, he's pushing it right in the danger zone. Either you hold it or you push it wide. Keeper's made a meal out of it. Pushed it against the defender. It's just sloppy. But it's 1-1. And we're back to a level game again. But 70 minutes. 1-1. Now have Portugal woke up. Well, at least we got some goals. Game sparked into life. Bernardo Silva, Vitinha. Got to go for the switch. Sufal wins that one. Flicks it for a throw-in. That's always annoying, isn't it, when that happens? You know what I mean? You're knocking on the door the whole game, knocking on the door, don't really create anything. Go 1-0 down, score immediately. You're like, well, good. You woke up. But either way, certainly, unless Portugal really turn the style on in the next 20 minutes, the general consensus coming out of this game will be, won't it, that I wasn't really blown away by Portugal. They weren't that impressive. Is Bernardo Silva. Bruno Fernandes. Been a bit quieter in the second half. Tried the outside of the boot pass. Didn't work out. And the Czech Republic player just smashes that over the top. No one's going to run onto that one. There's Jota. Tried to pass it in behind to Ronaldo. I tell you what, though. Oh, here we go. They've lost it here. Shoots. Oh, just smashes against the goalkeeper there from Bernardo Silva. I was about to say that this one does have all the hallmarks of getting to, the 85th minute, 89th minute, maybe even to stoppage time, and a Cristiano Ronaldo header or Cristiano Ronaldo tapping makes it 2-1, and he gets all the headlines. Or it's got written a late Ronaldo goal. And I'll be like, that's a foul. Yeah, trip by Mendes. But it's got all the hallmarks of a late Ronaldo goal. CR7 in the headlines once again. They look quite tired, the Czech Republic players. Yeah, it's just the more I watch that goal, the more I look at that goal, I'm just like the goalkeeper. Maybe it's because of the conditions he's not comfortable holding, but you're either bringing it in like this. Look at Martinez, he's doing the reload it. Reload it. Yeah, you either grab it or you push it away from goal, not into, literally, the danger area right in front of you. Ball over the top. Oh, nearly foul for a Czech Republic player there. And that's going to go up for a throw into the Czech Republic. They've got to get that Roberto Martinez gif. Long throw. Is that going to be a foul? No. Is it going to be another opportunity? Dudera. But again, that's been the case for the Czech Republic the whole game. Just their final pass is just very not good. Bruno Fernandes, ball over the top. Jota takes it on the chest. Gets it across goal. Keeper manages to hold that one. He scores goals for Liverpool, doesn't he? Jota. Important ones too. Third game of the season. Of course, Manchester United got Liverpool at home. Bold versus bold. Dutch versus Dutch. Erik ten Hag versus Arne Slot. I'm fascinated to see how well he does at Liverpool. I don't think, and maybe this is because just I'm a Man United fan, you only hear the Manchester United news or the Manchester United circles, but I don't think the wider media have been talking enough about Arne Slot and will that work, won't that work, the pressure on him and what have you. Like they're just carrying like it's just going to be normal. They've got a new manager, Klopp's gone, got a new person in, that's cool, fine, no problem. They got an away game, first game of the season, go to Ipswich, which I think can be a bit of a banana skin for them, actually. It will really test to see what they're made of. I'm very interested to see how it all works out. It's got parallels to Erik ten Hag's first season, doesn't it? Bit of pressure. He's got to get rid of that now, Ignacio. And that's a throw-in. Does very well. Throw-in to the Czech Republic. Deep in Portugal's half. Look at that Czech Republic player. Can barely breathe. It's a lot of tiredness. Soufal with the throw-in. Is he going to go long? No. And that's a throw into Portugal. What a waste. But we're into the 77th minute. It is still 1-1. 2 goals in a quick succession in the second half. A fantastic goal from the Czech Republic and an own goal. So the Czech Republic have had the ball in the net twice. Just one was in the wrong net. It's just Danny says, if you read this comment, I will eat Roma wrote. No, don't do that, Danny. From what I've heard, they are not delicious. It's what I've heard. Is there going to be late drama? And Portugal, they've got options, haven't they? It's not as if they don't have other people they could bring on. I mean, how many subs have they made at the moment? Is it just 2? I think it is, isn't it? Just 2 substitutions. They've still got people they could bring on. João Felix, João Neves, Ruben Neves, Mateus Nunes, Pedro Neto. They've Gonzalo Ramos. There's no one they can bring on. They've got no options. They've got no goal scorers, clearly. Vitinha takes a shot. Keeper parries it away. See, I'm fine with that. Again, difficult conditions, comfortable. Just punch it away from the goal. Fine. Corner ball. Are they going to do the same? They're going to do the same routine. I mean, the whole game, the short corner. Finally, they put someone on the short corner. It's about bloody time. It's only taken 78 minutes. Ball in. And terrible, go straight out for a throw in. See what happens when you cut off the short corner? Get me in charge. I'll put my application in. New Czech Republic manager. You know it's bad when they have to show the slow motion replay of the comfortable save from the goalkeeper. More substitutions. The goal scorer, Provod's coming off. And Sulk. No, that's not Cristiano Ronaldo. It's a Czech Republic player. It is also coming off. And Barak of Fiorentina is on. And Shevchek is also on. Oh, I don't know. One of the Czech Republic players is out of the competition, out of the squad, because he fell off his bike. He fell off his bike and injured himself so much that he had to withdraw or be taken out of the Euro squad. You'd never live it down, would you? Bruno Fernandes. Into the box. Gets the ball across goal. Oh, nearly got towards Ronaldo. And the defender does well in the end. It was amazing how he got that out of his feet. Somehow managed it. Here we go. Still a chance. Cleared. 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Oh, gone down. And now a foul by Bruno Fernandes. Look at him. He's begging. He's begging. I mean, just kind of catches him on the nose. He's looked lively. Looked like he's trying to make things happen. Bruno Fernandes. But we did see with the likes of the Netherlands, when that discussion of, they're going to drop points in their opening game against a team they're expected to beat in Poland, they still managed somehow to pull out the bag without Weghorst. But here we go, Czech Republic. They might have the opposite here. Lays it off. He's in the box. Blocked. Edge of the box again. Oh, just wide from Souček. Look at this. Edge of the box. You think he just drags it too much. It's the block actually from Diaz. The block from Diaz is a great block. I think that's on target. And I mentioned with the Netherlands, they found a way. Somehow, some way, they found a way to get the goal. Can Portugal do the same? Cancelo, reverse pass. That's Souček again. Somehow a ball stayed in. I don't know how. Diaz. Vitinha. Bad pass. See, now what you got to start doing, if you're Czech Republic, you got to start doing some shithouse fouls. You got to get the ball, and then because they're desperate to get the ball back, you got to start sort of hitting the deck a little bit, start pissing them off. Start wasting some time. It's dark arts of football, and I hate it when it happens to me or my team. But that's what you got to do. In tournament football, you got to get nasty, especially against better teams. You got to get nasty. You got to do dark arts. Look at that interception. And when you get opportunities like this, you have to make it count. What you don't have to do is when you're on the counter-attack, just kick it out for a throw-in, like they've just done. But I don't know if that's just because they're so tired they can't run forwards. Bernardo Silva. Jota. As we have 7 minutes remain. Can't think we'd have too much stoppage time. There's not been many delays. Not been really any VARs or offside calls. Tries to switch. And who was that tried it? It was Pepe. I mean, if you're gonna try a switch on these conditions, it's got to be inch perfect. It's no playing in behind. James with a super chat here says Scholes versus Iniesta, Giggs versus Vigo. What is in who's better? Well, I think it's very interesting. Yeah, with the Scholes one, all I'll say is when you ask, when you ask all of these ex-pros, it's very interesting how often they bring up Paul Scholes as one of the most underrated or one of the best midfielders of all time, as opposed to Iniesta. I would go Paul Scholes over Iniesta, and I'd also go Giggs over Figo. I mean, Ryan Giggs' career, his achievements, his longevity, the fact that he... Oh, look at that. That was a meaty tackle. I think he was given as a foul. And gets the ball. It's good. Full-blooded. It was a good tackle by Mendes. And still, by the way, when you've got 5 minutes left, once again, you look at Martinez, you go, you're going to change shape? You're going to commit men forward? Or does he get nervy and go, well, I don't want to lose the game? And if you've got top players in international football, do you have an attacking manager or a defensive manager? They've won the ball back there. That might be a foul. But then again, that's what I was mentioning before. I think that's what you got to do. Get to this stage. If it's some little horrible fouls, you just got to do that. Just some little horrible fouls. Waste time a bit. Delay the game. Make some subs. Go down with cramp. See if Portugal can break them down. It must be said they have not been good enough. They've been very boring to watch. I don't think this shape really works for them. They don't look like free-flowing and creative. Ball in! Ronaldo hits the post, but it's in anyway. There you go, Diogo Jota. I thought for a second it was going to be Ronaldo. I thought my prediction. What's going on here? They're trying to grab the ball. What are they trying to grab the ball for? Oh, he wants to put it under his shirt. I was going to say, why are you trying to get a kickoff? He wants to put the ball under his shirt to celebrate. But I thought for a second the prediction on Ronaldo was going to come true. I mentioned that the game was set up for a late Cristiano Ronaldo goal. And he would get the headlines. He'd get the headlines. People go, CR7. There is a goal check. But Ronaldo's header off the post. It might be a case of Ronaldo, I think he's onside. It looked very tight. Oh, it's offside. Oh, my. Oh, my. Technology has just ruled it out. Offside. Oh, my. It was quick. And I tell you what, technology. Automated offsides. Fantastic. Why wait? In the Premier League, they'd be going, all right, let's go to Stockley Park, draw the lines. Well, that camera angle doesn't really look across the line. Well, balls to it, who cares? And now, you know what they'd settle on eventually? I'll just give it. Give the goal. Why? Well, because we don't know. And it was Ronaldo was involved. So let's just not bother. Let's just do that. And I don't want to make you look bad, referees and linesmen. I wouldn't want to do that. No. Whereas technology is like, I don't give a shit. I don't care who scored it. I don't care who set it up. Technology, boom. 10, 15 seconds, done. Big W for technology. Can't wait for that to be in the Premier League, honestly. Even though they'll still find a way to screw it up. Because officiating in the Premier League is just awful. And you'll get Howard Webb on that programme, Michael Owen, going, well, the problem was we just didn't set up properly that game. So we've written an apology. We've written an apology to the clubs. And hopefully we'll improve from it. Transparency. And then you get Michael Owen kind of thing. Look at that. It's offside. But it's how close and how tight that is. But also, it's how quickly it is. And also, and this is the other part of it, isn't it? You know, sometimes it's got to the point this season where even if they give it offside, you don't believe it anymore. Because we've seen them draw the lines, and we've seen them do it wrong, and we've seen them pick the wrong player to draw the line. So even now this season, when it's like, oh, it's been given offside, well, we go, I still don't buy that. I don't believe it. This technology, because you know they get it right, it's a bit like the goal line technology in the sense of you can't really argue. You just go, well, I'm offside then. There's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm offside. I mean, I know with the goal line technology, there's been a couple of cases where it's gone wrong, but more often than not, you can't even argue against it, can you? That's what it needs to be. That's why I'm still in favour of scrapping VAR. I'm just in favour of things that are cut and dry. You are either offside or you are onside. If that's the case, then leave that technology. Get that done. Things that are subjective, cuts it back. Oh, blocked. Things that are subjective, that's always going to end up with sort of nonsense, like with the handball thing the other day. And snickometer. So foul. Ball does get into the box in the end. Bernardo Silva clears. Is Dudera. Is there any more drama in this game? That's got to be a foul. Blocked. No. And he's holding his face. Do you know what is good, though, with technology? Is back in the day, prior to technology, back in the day, Portugal would have just won this game, wouldn't they? They'd have just won this game. It probably wouldn't even have had a second look. People wouldn't have really been going, oh, was he offside? Isn't he offside? They'd have just gone, oh, Portugal won. They didn't play well, but look at them. They won the game in the end. Now, that is fair. That is fairness, isn't it? That is how football should be. And I think he has actually had a good game, this referee. Chance, Neto, or deflection. Oh! I tell you what, the goalkeeper, he slipped. He's had a stinker. An absolute stinker. They've scored. Conceição's won it for Portugal. Unbelievable. The ball comes in. There's a shot. I think it's blocked. The keeper slips and it's just there for a tap-in. Just absolutely there for a tap-in. Competitive debut. What a story that is for Portugal. And the conditions just get to the Czech Republic at the worst time. Late substitutions pay off for Roberto Martinez. I don't think this one's going to be ruled off. Take a look at this. I mean, the defender sells himself. Ah, the keeper, you've had a stinker. Look at him, deflection in. I don't know what the defender's doing. Defender goes down. They're just up 6s and 7s. They really are. Defender goes down, knees first, try and block the ball. The keeper slips, and as the keeper slips, they actually slides the ball under him too. It's just a mess. Conceição, though, scores. Gets a yellow card. He won't care. But I tell you what, Portugal, they got their luck in this evening, because the own goal they score, or they get, is poor from the goalkeeper. Just kind of shoves it onto a defender, scores. With that one, goalkeeper slips, and they just play it under him. I mean, they're less Portugal good play. They're more two Czech Republic errors, in my opinion. But the result's all that matters. Mentioned it several times. Or I tell you what, reverse pass, he's in here. Cuts it across goal. Oh, maybe should have done a bit better there. There surely can't be any more late drama, can there? He wouldn't. Ball over the top. He's in! He's in! Oh, you've made a mess of it! Oh, he's offside. Yeah, he was off. Look at this. It's just that is such a mess of a goal. Really is. Defender goes down with his knees. Goalkeeper slips. Then when he goes to spread himself, he jumps over the ball. Oh, it's just a mess. Maybe that's how you know your luck's in. Maybe that's how you know you're going to win it. But I think teams that maybe were a bit weary of Portugal would be looking at this going, I tell you what, we can get them. But it's about peaking at the right times, isn't it? Peaking at the right times. I mean, I don't think that goalkeeper should probably play more matches for the Czech Republic. He's had 2 stinkers in this game. Well, it certainly wasn't the performance that I expected from Portugal anyway. It still could be considered the favourites. I don't think that changes after one performance. Even if they had drawn or lost, you go, oh, they're not going to win the whole thing. Can't say that, but people maybe expected a little bit more. But the best teams get results regardless. And that is the full-time whistle. Despite a less than stellar performance, Portugal have got over the line and they've won this one by 2 goals to 1. The Czech Republic, I mean, they're right to feel frustrated because they put in a fantastic performance. They put in a really, physical performance, a real shift in, and they're very unfortunate that a couple of really sloppy goals they've conceded. One, goalkeeper just shoves it onto the defender, own goal. And then right at the death, you've got poor defender going with his knees. Goalkeeper slips, then it goes under the goalkeeper. It's all just a bit of a mess. But nevertheless, Portugal still do get the win. And that means really all of the big teams, probably bar Belgium, have all picked up wins in their opening matches. But they've had good matches, haven't they? And we've had drama in all of the matches too. Portugal did have a goal ruled out for offside. Technology, W, in that one. As technology has been actually very impressive throughout the tournament thus far. Particularly the offsides. Maybe not so much for that handball one yesterday. But that is all of the matches in the first round of matches in the group stages. We'll be back once again tomorrow, as I mentioned, doing possibly 1 or 2. We'll have to wait and see what the sort of schedule looks like. But Germany, Hungary, and Scotland, Switzerland are the ones that I'm looking at for tomorrow. A reminder when it comes to all of the Manchester United content, not going anywhere. We'll be live tomorrow morning, Flex and myself for the transfer view. We'll be talking about Joshua Zirkzee, strong links with him this evening, as Manchester United reportedly have opened discussions with him and his representatives. And we'll have some actually really exciting stuff, which I'm not going to say just yet, but I can say there is going to be some very exciting stuff that we've got planned. That's either going to be dropping tomorrow or early Thursday. I won't say what it is. And tomorrow morning or whenever you watch the show, you'll be like, see, I knew that because Owen told me on the match view late last night. So stay tuned for that one. Anyway, guys, big up for joining, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow morning. I'm out of here. Peace.